Hello, welcome to the latest video from the Snowden Chronicles. When you decide to create your family tree, your first instinct is usually to go straight to a website and start clicking hints. But that's actually step 3. Step 1 is the brain dump. Sit down and write every single thing you think you know. Names, dates, approximate years, and most importantly, the stories. Even the ones that sound like tall tales. Step 2 is interview. Find your elders. Call them today. And here's a tip I wish I had followed when I started. Record the audio. I didn't think to do that back then, and I'd give anything to have those original voices telling those stories now. Don't make my mistakes. Hit record. Today, I want to show you why those stories matter by sharing 2 of my own. The first story involves my second great-grandfather, Joseph Bond. According to our family lore, Joseph was born around 1881 and died young in 1921. The story passed down was tragic. Joseph was out one day and stumbled upon a couple having a heated argument. Being a man of character, he tried to step in as a peacemaker. He wanted to de-escalate the situation. Instead, the other man drew a gun. Joseph was shot and killed right there. It's a powerful story of a life cut short by an act of kindness. But for a long time, that's all it was, a story. To turn a story into history, you need a document. I started searching for my second great-grandfather's death certificate, and I hit a wall. For years, I searched in North Carolina where the family originated. Nothing. Genealogy teaches you to think outside the box. I started expanding my search radius and finally found him. He didn't pass away in North Carolina at all. He died in Virginia. When I finally pulled that certificate, I held my breath. Does the paper match the legend? Usually, death certificates are pretty clinical, cardiac arrest or pneumonia, but Joseph's was different. When I turned it over to the back, there it was, written in ink by the coroner. It confirmed the family story, almost word for word. It detailed the gun wound and the circumstances of the altercation. Seeing that official version next to a story shared by my family all my life, that is a genealogy high. That's why we do this. Your family stories are the map. Even if the state on the map is wrong, write them down, talk to your relatives, and keep digging. Now, I'm going to share a second story that changed how I look at my ancestry. In genealogy, we often talk about brick walls, those moments where the records just stop. But sometimes the wall isn't a lack of information, it's an assumption. For my entire life, I was told a specific story about my grandfather's mother, Elizabeth Lee. The story was simple and tragic. She died young, giving birth to him. Because of that, I went to my research looking for a death certificate that matched his birth date. I searched for years and I found nothing. I hit a roadblock that lasted decades. About 2 years ago, I wasn't even looking for Elizabeth. I was researching her youngest sister, trying to tidy up that branch of the tree. And that's when I saw it. A certificate for Lizzie Lee Shepherd. The parent's name matched my second great-grandparents, the name of Elizabeth Lee's parents. So I knew this was my great-grandmother's death certificate. The date was 1919. My grandfather had been born about 22 months earlier. I looked closer. The informant on the record was a man named David Shepherd. It turns out Elizabeth had married, and her name had changed. A detail that had been lost to our family oral history. But the most shocking part wasn't the name change. It was the timing. The certificate revealed a life that was tragically short, but not in the way I was told. Elizabeth, Lizzie, was only 17 years old when she passed away. She wasn't a victim of childbirth. She was a victim of the 1919 Spanish flu pandemic. Think about that timing. We always believed my grandfather never knew the touch of his mother. But this piece of paper proved that she had 22 months with him. She saw him crawl. She likely heard his first words. She got to be a mother for 22 months before the great flu took her. Why did the family story change to death and childbirth? Maybe over 80 years. She died when he was a baby, just morphed into a more common tragedy of the time. Or maybe the pain of the flu pandemic was something the family didn't want to revisit. But finding that certificate didn't just give me a date of death, it gave me some joy that my great grandmother had 22 months with her baby. It changed my grandfather's origin story from one of immediate loss to one of a brief shared life. This is why we do the work. This is why we look for the sisters, the cousins, and the extra names. The truth is often more complex and sometimes more beautiful than the legend. So check for those maiden names, check the years following a birth, and never assume the family story is the whole story. Now, if you ever found a record that changed a family legend, or if you have a wild story that you're trying to prove, tell me about it in the comments. Let's keep digging. I'll see you in the next video. And don't forget to hit subscribe button on your way down to the comment section. Until the next video, God bless and thank you for watching.